what are you nerding out about now?
Oh yeah. Um, I'm gonna throw to Steven. Now, Steven, you don't get to talk about any kind of nerdity here like ever. So just spin that wheel of nerdiness. What are you nerding out about right now?
I am real excited to talk to you guys about this because there's a little movie coming out this summer, and I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's a character called Deadpool and Wolverine.
Go on. This sounds vaguely
I don't think I've
familiar.
ever heard of this.
Right, I know it's brand new property. It's just wild. Anyway, they're teaming up Wolverine and Deadpool. It's gonna be great. So, in all seriousness, I was like, you know what? I haven't done in a long time. Watch the first X-Men movie. So
That's not where I thought you were going. Okay. I thought we were going to go on a Deadpool bender here, but
no. We went on a Logan quest. I watched every Wolverine movie from X-Men in 2000 all the way to Logan, and I had the time of my life watching these movies. And I was shocked at how well most of them held up. But I have questions for you two because there are two movies that stand out as actual dumpster fires in the saga of Logan.
Only two?
To me, there's two.
All right,
I guess I should stop by without proposing my two dumpster fire movies. Do either of you have any strong feelings about any of those X-Men movies that you think might be dumpster fires?
What's the Wolverine Beginnings or whatever?
Wolverine Origins. All right.
Yeah,
there's one.
See, I would argue there's worse.
Really? Which one is worse?
The last First Class movie?
No, not that. So it has to have Wolverine in it as a main character. So it made a cameo in Apocalypse and wasn't in Dark Phoenix. So
I never even saw Dark Phoenix.
Yeah, I'm not counting those two.
Okay. Well, if you're gonna take out the real trash, the third of the first trilogy, the third movie,
Last Stand.
Okay.
See, this is where our good friend TV's Travis and I disagreed vehemently because he says Last Stand is the worst dumpster fire of them all.
I mean, Travis are on that page. I get you. Yeah.
And I said that Wolverine Origins, like that with the Deadpool with the laser eyes, is not only the worst Wolverine movie, but one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
Okay, you've not seen Frankenweenie.
That's a bit of that's a bit of a stretch in my opinion.
Well, I've seen that worst movie on earth.
A stretch, Armstrong here. All right.
But anyway,
my dad loved horrible movies, so I've seen all kinds of.
You've seen the bad ones.
I've seen all kinds of bad stuff.
Yeah. So I watched them both, and I came out at the end of it watching X-Men Last Stand, and I was like, this was really bad. And then Travis said, well, it's not worse than, or it's worse than Wolverine. So you're on the upswing now. And I'm like, okay, I don't remember that being the case, but I'll watch it again. And I kid you not, that movie was the worst writing, worst effects, worst story, worst everything. The only good part of Wolverine Origins, he hops out of the pool and he goes berserker mode for a minute. That was cool.
And it's the first time, it was the first and only time they addressed really directly that the metal is not his power. It's the healing and the bone claws is about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good point.
But other than that, that's like the only hide. Okay. Before they zip up his Deadpool's mouth, it was fantastic, right? The one-liners. No, not the movie.
There were three one-liners, Charles. They were three. He said three lines in the elevator, and they all go, "Oh, wait, I wish you would shut up. You talk too much." It's like he didn't say anything. He said one. He said a couple things.
Maybe I'm just going on the.
Maybe he used to have a lot more lines.
He didn't say anything. The whole movie.
I would say I'd have to go back and watch it, but I ain't gonna.
No, you're not.
Because I agree. Okay, so if you take out if it has to be Wolverine focus, and Origins was rough. Yeah,
Civilian's got a good one in there for the worst movie ever.
Oh, Kung Pao, yeah.
No, that is hilarious. You have to love kung fu movies to understand how funny bad that movie is.
Isn't that the one where he punches the cow's udders?
Yes.
That's in a training montage. It opens with like a 5-minute scene of a baby doll falling down a mountain. It just keeps going. And my wife looks at me in the theater and goes, "What are we watching?" I'm like, "This is what I don't know." Oh no, Velocipaster. Okay, come on, no. Velocipaster. Way worse. Way worse.
So Civilian on Base's first one in there though is the Dragon Ball movie, Dragon Ball Evolution.
Knockoff Dragon Ball movie.
So there are movies that are bad on purpose, like Velocipaster. And there are movies that wanted to be good and sucked.
Yeah, I don't think Dragon Ball intentionally was bad.
Now, also we're throwing up softballs in a baseball game, okay?
Yeah.
Wolverine Origins was supposed to be an A-list mega million budget movie. And yes, we can compare it to these that are definitely not in that league. What was your other one, Steven?
The other one that was bad was Last Stand. But like, to go back to Wolverine Origins real quick, because I'm not done taking a crap on this movie. There's not one, but two moments where you do the no and you scream to the sky and the camera pans up. Two of them because someone died. Lame. And then go YouTube when he meets Gambit and he chops the fire escape up into pieces, and you will cry at how painfully terrible that scene was. And that's when I officially gave up on trying to like it.
It was a horrible Gambit.
It was awful, y'all. It was just the worst. And I'm just thankful they did the Wolverine after that and came back and made a movie that mostly made sense, except for the giant robot samurai fight at the end.
Still fun though. Now, did you watch Logan in black and white?
I didn't watch it in black and white.
In black and white? I've never even seen Logan, but is that a thing?
Logan is so.
Watch Logan in color with your wife. Your kids aren't ready for it. It's rated R because he's truly Wolverine. Lots of violence. Lots of violence. A little bit of language, but but I think you enjoy it, Joe. It's by far heralded as the best Wolverine movie ever. And I forget who did it, but whoever did it like does epic tale.
James Mangold.
Then so watch it in color, then give it a day or two, then watch it in black and white. It just elevates it to a whole nother level.
It's so Joe, if you're gonna watch Logan, you haven't seen it before, go on the Wolverine quest like I did. Because I'm telling you, Logan's already good. It's already a good movie.
Yeah.
But when you watch it with it fresh in your mind, everything that Wolverine has been through, and it's like how Patrick Stewart didn't get an Oscar for Logan for his portrayal of Professor X in that movie. I don't know. It is phenomenal. And I walked in when I saw it in the theater, I didn't know what to think. And I kind of walked out like, I don't know if I liked it, but I wasn't ready for it.
Right.
I wasn't mentally prepared for the type of movie I was going to see. It's just art. It's an art form. It's wonderful.
The tall English comedian Stephen, is it Stephen Wright? Not right. Is he works with Ricky Gervais a lot.
Stephen Merchant. Taliban.
Yeah. Yes. Oh, how did he not get an award for that? That was so phenomenal. All of it's so good. And that little girl, I think the little girl did win something for being Project X, but X 13 or whatever she was. Now, slightly different nerding out here. We play a little game on this show, Steven. It's guess what the anime is about from the title. So Joe brought this title, Steven. We're gonna guess what this has about. Do you watch anime, Steven?
No, not at all.
All right. So
I'm ready.
Guess. I watched some of it, so I'll let you guess first. It's called
Tsukimichi
Moonlit Fantasy. What's this going to be about?
This is about, first of all, it's an anime romance, like a rom-com. And it's on one of those diner cruise ship steamboat things that they go on to have this date. But the problem is that once they're on this ship and they're starting to eat their sushi and rice and whatever and dumplings and the waiter's all cool, you kind of see the waiter's not really as normal as he seemed like he would be. Turns out he's a dang killer robot, and he's got like and the guy on the boat that's in the rom-com is not actually just a suave guy. He's got superpowers, and his hair turns yellow, and it's like a kung fu on a steamboat in the middle of the Mississippi, because it takes place in America, but it's an anime, and it's just off the chain. I mean, it is something to behold.
That is word for word the IMDb description of Kung Pao
I knew
Nerd
it.
Fist. So,
Yeah.
so my guess, I'm also going robots. So my guess is the only thing it has to do with Moonlight is in the opening is this slow song that you get bored with. It's all this moon over water and credits in Japanese and stuff. And then they get into it, and there's going to be an angsty robot who doesn't really want to help humanity. There's going to be a little child who's going to be the savior of the world. And then there's going to be your token oversized bad guy who really is good at heart, but misunderstood. That's what I think Tamagotchi, the movie here is what is this? Tsukimichi, the Moonlit Fantasy. All right. What is it, Joe?
We got it, didn't we?
You guys are so spot on. It's a guy whose parents had promised that one of their kids would go to another world as a hero, and so he doesn't want any of his siblings to have to take on that responsibility, so he goes. And the goddess says, "You're way too ugly to be a hero."
I've heard that one a few times.
Yeah,
in my
that's been
life.
said to me once.
And she banishes him to the furthest reaches of the world and tells him to just stay there and stay put, and she'll consider his parents' obligations done. Well, another god had actually transported him to meet the goddess, and he felt sorry for him. So he gave him an extra stat bonuses. And the goddess had actually blessed and cursed him at the same time, to where he would understand every language except the common tongue spoken by, they don't call them humans. They call them like humans, HYU, because they're slightly different race. They are humans, but they're all like beautiful. Like every human is super good looking.
Celebrities, got it. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
And so he ends up in the furthest reaches where there's a bunch of demi-humans. And thanks to the blessing from the guy that took pity on him, he's actually super strong. And so it's
So Steven was pretty close with the guy in the boat. It's really not the love interest. Yeah, okay.
I wasn't prepared for humans. I was not ready for that.
Well, that's going to my lexicon now. They're going to mispronounce some normal word.
Yeah, but he finds some humans and tries to talk to them, and he sounds like a monster to them when he tries to talk to them. So he ends up learning magic so that he can hold his finger up and write stuff using magic in midair, so that he can communicate with the humans that he runs into.
With my finger in midair too.
Like Harold in the Purple Crayon, anime style.
Oh. Side note, I have not seen a preview. I've only seen a movie poster. Harold and the Purple Crayon's getting a movie.
It looks cool. It's Zachary Levi doing what Zachary Levi does.
Zachary
Levi.
Levi.
Fun.
Yeah.
But you have to be. Kids have to be in that certain age range at a certain time to get that. But yeah. All right. So humans are going to
humans, and yeah, there are a couple of other.
Put that on soundboard.
Humans. There are a couple of other heroes that do end up getting summoned, and he does end up running into them eventually. But yeah, it's pretty good. And every time he runs into humans, they think he's half demi-human because he's so ugly. They're like, "You're so ugly." It's a running theme. You're so ugly. He's normal looking, but because everyone there is supposed to be beautiful.
So what is a Tsukimichi?
I don't know what Tsukimichi means.
Human.
I don't know. Yeah, that's the Japanese. All right. So my little ditty involves Daily Tech News Show, and Google, and the Renaissance Festival. So here comes this weird triangle. Monday was Memorial Day of this recording, and we typically go out to the Georgia Renaissance Festival, and the family really digs it. And my buddy Human comes in, and he's come every year for, I don't know, 15 years. We started way back in my Success Week days. We started a meetup for the podcast, and my partner worked at the festival, so we chose the festival. Anyway, we went there, and first off, I didn't take both of my phones. I have two different providers, and so I always carried both phones. One's work, one's not, but that way it can be reached. So I had to message a few people like, hey, I didn't bring my work phone today, left it at home. Reach me on this phone if you can, if you need me. And we go about our day. We're doing our thing. And I just had this moment in the day. Don't know why. But we were sitting somewhere, and I remember putting my phone like under my leg because it was going to get hot or whatever from the sun, because we're sitting outdoors. And I could have sworn I had it when I stood up. And I could have sworn I had it when we went 100 feet down the walkway to the next thing, and then I tapped my son on the shoulder. I was like, let's go sit over here while we watch your siblings go play for a minute. And then my wife was like, hey, you watch them, I'm gonna take the other kids to do this. I'm like, cool. She walks away, and it's almost like how I imagine the Sims live, right? Is the Sims are doing their everyday thing, and you just go, I'm gonna be a butt face, and you delete the ladder out of the pool, and I'm like, I can't get out of the pool. It was just a click, like, where's my phone? I mean, like the finger of the digital guy clicked my phone out of existence. It just dawned on me. And my kids had just finished a little corn maze or whatever they did. So like, hey, let's run down here. We ran down there. Of course, it's not there. And the person I asked is not there. So we run into a police officer and said, hey, where would somebody turn in a phone? And he's like, hold on, and he radioed. It's like, yeah, they don't have, anything. Because it's a Samsung S23 is pretty. I mean, most people don't lose. It's not like I have a ton of phones back there. So he said, but check out, he told me where it was. And so I never freaked out. I never got super upset. It's my personal phone. It's going to be hard to replace a lot more of the information, but also I hate Android. So I wasn't like super upset that it might be gone and I have to get an iPhone. Oh gosh, darn. But I don't know. I just like, it'll be all right. It'll be fine. I was still upset about it a little bit. It wasn't like I was like, but I didn't like lose my crap. And so, sure enough, we have to leave the festival. Nobody's turning anything in, and there's no good signal, so you can't track in a Live 360. I didn't think about having my wife call it. It was just, we're hot, we're tired. I'll call the Renaissance Festival office the next day. And so Tuesday, I get up and I look at the phone number and I call him. I was on the phone. Ryland decides to pull up Live 360 on his phone. Say, hey, that doesn't look like the Renfest. Now, I thought he meant it just didn't look like it was just like a satellite view. So I was like, wait a minute. I don't recognize the address. I don't really know the Renfest address either. So I was just punching the address into Google Maps. Now, keep in mind, if you can picture Atlanta. So Atlanta's in the center. The airport's at the bottom of Atlanta. This was like 30 minutes south of the airport is where the festival is. That's key because when I punched into Google Maps, the address that my phone currently was at, with full signal and full charge, well, not full charge, but decent charge, it was probably an hour north of the city, right? Okay, on the podcast, there are very appropriate shocked faces, which I appreciate going on right now. So that was my reaction. Like, wait a minute, what? So I think the festival's like, no, it's not there. Thank you. And I just decided to call it, and whoever answered said, you were in broken English. Hello. I didn't know what to say other than, hey, you have my phone, man. And he didn't speak any English at all. And so I'm like, I'm trying to keep my cool because, the conspiracy theory in my head is like, oh yeah, okay, of course, you stole my phone. I mean, nobody stole it, but you got my phone, and but it's like, okay, I accepted at face value, couldn't get any kind of interpretation. So I just hung up. I was like, I'm just gonna drive up there. I know, right? I'm gonna drive up there, but because it's my phone and I need my phone back. And here's where Google can be perfect timing, and this is where DTNS comes in later today. I know an Apple. I forgot it was an Android for a minute. I said, I'll just find my phone. It's like, I can't do that. So I said, Android, find my phone, because maybe they have something similar. And Google popped up, the AI, whatever, popped up and went, hey, this is Google Find My Phone. Click it right here. And I clicked it, and it already had 3 devices. I remember 2. I think one might be one of my kids' burner phones or something. We give trash phones to them.
What are your kids into that eat
Yeah.
burner phones?
My 11-year-old is selling that Flintstone Push Pop, the good
He's
vitamins.
enterprising, got the booger sugar deals going on.
And I think that's a new thing for Google.
Shush.
Spoiler alert.
No, I have no.
My bad.
Yes, but here's why the timing is perfect. So I just looked up, boom, there it was, clicked it. There's my device, and sure enough, it lined up right with Life 360, and I can see it. It says tracked 10 seconds ago. I can shut it down find my phone. I can play a noise. Like, I'm going to drive the hour and 50 minutes north to go see if I can knock on the stranger's door, and told my wife, hashtag shut up, Joe. Thank you, random kid. I'm about an hour into my ride, and I texted my wife because she drives for Lyft on certain days, and Tuesday she was driving, so she had no idea I was going to do this. And now, keep in mind, dear listener, I have 6'7". I have 350 pounds. I have worked in EMS for almost 30 years. I am not afraid of any situation I walk into, and I already know worst case scenarios are going to destroy the phone, but I've got the evidence to take to the police to do whatever I have to do. So I'm not worried about it. It's like, okay, what if they pull a gun? You don't think I can talk my way out of a gun situation? I can talk about, and if they're like most people who pull guns, they don't know what the heck they're doing. So that might not go well for them. Anyway, I have no fear. Never dawned on me. And my wife, so she calls me. Well, I text her, say, hey, when you get a moment, give me a call. Now, keep in mind, she was with me when we lost the phone, all this other stuff. She had no idea about the tracking of it. She calls that phone. And then she calls me. I said, hey, babe. And the first thing was like, you need to turn off your phone. Somebody's got it. And they're like, okay, why are you calling that phone? You told me to call you. But you were with me when I lost.
That muscle memory is hard to kick, dude.
I know. Right. So, but I was like, yeah, I know. I'm driving up there now. So she freaked out for the rest of the almost hour it took me to get there just to make sure I was okay. I'm like, okay, sure. I love you. I love you too. I don't know what else to say to that. But because she called, he did the same thing and almost the same things, like no, nabla, English, this kind of thing, and just no thing. And she of course goes in conspiracy mode too. Like, man, they're going to take. It's like, babe, I've got my laptop with me. I'm tracking it. You've got Life 360. We've got all this stuff. It'll be fine. But I guess it's a good thing she called, because he texted her and broke in. I guess he got somebody, maybe did Google Translate like I would have, it texted her, hey, apparently I have your phone. When can somebody come get it? And so I said, I said, just text him that I'll be there at 2:00 because whatever the GPS said. She was okay. She goes, you don't want to tell them later so they don't do anything. Like, if they were going to do something with the phone, they would have done it after two random people called it, and one of them yelled at him. I'm sure you yelled at him. I get there, and it's a young kid. I mean, he's like between 14 and 16 years old. I rang the Ring doorbell first and stepped back. And I've got rest and kill you face. Like,
yes.
Yeah, I just did. I mean, you probably see me at DragCon. I'm thinking about something. I'm like, people who don't know, it's like, are you okay? It's like, wait, what? What are you talking about?
I'm terrified of you, like most of the time. So yeah,
and it's not intentional. I guess it comes from being raised in the church when you just hate everything
all day.
But so I'm sure I have this killer face. But I step back like a police officer would, give that space to the door, whatever. And he's not coming to the door. I mean, I didn't know where they were. And I'm like, so, I did the knock thing, and I give it maybe 2 seconds. I start calling my phone, and I'm standing there, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to let this thing go to voicemail. Then I'm going to my car, tracking it again, and then I'll call the cop. And kid came out, just kept smiling. He's like, phone? And he had some braces on, which makes people look younger, but I'm pretty sure he's between like 14 and 16 years old. And I said, thank you. God bless you. Took the phone and off. Easy peasy. Done. My vibe on it is he probably had siblings. Maybe, kids get dumb. My kid got dumb. I was dumb at that age doing things. And I'm thinking, just the way they responded with everything, that they probably found it, thought, I don't know. Maybe somebody won't claim it. Maybe somehow I can figure out how to use it. I mean, nothing seemed malicious about any of it. But here's where DTNS comes in. So I'm a little behind on listening to them. So about a month behind. They're in towards the mid of April where I'm listening. Today, I heard the episode where they talked about Google is about to launch in a few days Android Find My Phone because Apple, and they tell all the stories. I'm like, seriously? That hasn't been a thing? It literally came into play like 2 or 3 weeks ago. And here I am. I was like, all right, I'm not a Google fanboy. I think they could improve a lot of things that they do. But good on you, Google, because that worked out.
Perfect timing.
It really was.
That's amazing. I really thought that story was going to end in someone getting murdered, but I'm glad that it was. It ended up well. It's like, oh no, he's going to leave the smackdown on somebody.
Yeah, I mean, and I am. What's so interesting, I guess, to me, because I'm a big guy. People expect me to be violent, which I can be if I need to be, but nobody wins a fight. I am way more able to break you down with my words than ever put my hands on you.
That's what nerds do. We have a sharp wit that you have to either develop your wit or hate your life all through middle and high school. If you're going to be a nerd, be funny. That's the only hope you really have.